I'm Oskar Nygren and this is Imperfect Action. And in today's video, we are going to talk about how to step outside your safe little bubble and make your voice heard. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and click the notification bell, because I intend to make a video each day that helps those who want to share their gift with the world, being able to do so without feeling fearful and leaving perfectionism behind. And so let's get into today's topic. And I want to start out here with talking about a little bit of a personal story, because I've struggled for my entire life to step outside my comfort zone. And I had a huge fear of what people was going to say about me or how they're gonna react. And I was playing very, very small up until a very long point in my life. And I was particularly fearful of walking towards girls and showing myself being a man. And it took a long time for me to dare to step outside of my comfort zone. I really had to take huge leaps to be able to do that. And even though I managed sometime to get out of it, by going out and doing all crazy stuff out on the city, when it came to making my business and starting my business, the hardest part was to do like this, stand in front of the camera and showing myself up and being vulnerable in front of everybody. And that's why I resorted more to typing, writing text messages or posting on Facebook. But even that, I didn't do that regularly. And it took a lot of time for me to get over that hurdle. And to be frank, I'm still struggling with it. I mean, today I was thinking, nah, maybe I won't do a video, I had that little voice back in my head that told me, you know what, it's fine. Don't be so hard on yourself. A day can go by. And, I listen to that voice sometimes. But the thing is this, that sometimes we think that that voice is really kind, but somehow it is also an underlying fear that is there. So anyway, I really struggled with getting out there and posting stuff regularly and be shown and being vulnerable on camera. And so I noticed that one of the key things, because I felt that way, was because I wanted to please people. I wanted people to tell me that I have an inherent worth, right? So I struggled with making my posts pitch perfect, so people they would love it, right? It would be so clear, so up to the point, so it was no discussion. But then it didn't even spark any conversations. It was just like a like or a thumbs up, so people couldn't really relate to it. And that was super hard for me, because I had struggled, right? And I wanted them to like me. And that was through my entire life. That was the same with women. You want someone to like you. But people cannot really like you unless you like yourself. And that was the same thing for me when it came to doing things like this, like getting out here and speaking, right? Because I was fearful of what people are going to think about me. But what I figured out was that if I'm fearful of that, right, I am only fearful of what I myself believe about me, right? I'm fearful of that others will show me what I believe about myself, and that those beliefs won't be positive. And that's the same for you. You're fearful of your own beliefs about yourself. So one thing of releasing the fear of outcome is figuring out, what are those beliefs? What are you saying to yourself, right? Because the moment that you get out there and you start doing these things and someone says something that triggers you, well, that is only showing you what you're saying to yourself, right? You wouldn't be triggered unless there was some type of resonance with what they're saying that you believe to be true. So essentially, as you start get going, and some people will, most people will just cheer you on, but maybe that little person, like one person of 100, will say something, and maybe it stings. And if it stings, it's a good thing, because then they are polarizing you. So you get to feel what it is that you're saying about yourself. So that's one thing. Looking upon what are you saying about yourself, right? And changing that story from being something that's detrimental to something that is beneficial. Another thing that is also very important to think about is that there are those out there that you compare yourself with, that you sense are better than you, that have come further, that are on top of that mountain, that have this huge following. And somehow, perhaps, you are adoring these people. So then you are also projecting your own ideas about what traits they possess that you do not possess, or that you're saying to yourself that you do not possess. And when you start looking at what are you positively judging those people for, then you start noticing the beliefs that you're having about yourself that stands in contrast to what you're saying about them. But since everything is oneness, so everything is inside of you, so what they are representing, they are also triggering you, but in the positive sense. So when you find those traits, and you start acknowledging to yourself at times in your life when you've felt that, when you've been that, when you've experienced that, and you start owning it within you, then you start sensing your own value, right? Because it's very hard to keep your own value if you are giving it away to others. Right? You're giving away your own self-worth by comparing yourself and saying, I'm not this, they are them, that. And the last thing, when you're getting out here and you're sharing your voice, it is essentially about you stepping into leadership. And as a leader, it is very important to understand that you cannot be attached to the outcome. You have to release the outcome and simply just work on feedback, right? The world is benevolent. It is only giving us what we need. So the feedback that you're receiving, whether it is physically or feeling wise, take that into account, and then you just adjust and you take action and you get another feedback and so forth, right? There's a saying that said that Rome weren't built on one day, right? And that's the same thing here. You take one step at a time. Today, I might learn something when I'm standing here in front of the video, right? I was a little bit about doing this. But now I'm start learning that, you know, as you're starting to just put the camera rolling, get going, things will come out. And maybe it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. So start reclaiming your own self-worth, right? No one can tell you your self-worth. And if they actually do that, and you're not believing it, you won't even receive it, right? It will be empty if someone says that you are fantastic if you do not really believe it yourself. But when someone says something and you truly believe it, then you can receive it. So that is it for this video. I hope you understand that in order for you to step outside of your bubble, it is simply to recognize your own value, trusting the process, taking it step by step. Stepping into leadership will release your fear of the outcome. Release your fear of what people are going to say about you. Release your inner beliefs. And start owning the traits, the positive traits that you're projecting upon other people. And things will get so much more smooth. I promise you. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, love, and joy to all of you. Bye for now.